It has been a wild September. I had weeks to get to this event. And I mean, to be fair, I wanted to do the event, you know, with full faculty and to stream it. But I've had almost no time to stream except for this past week. And I've been just doing other stuff and, like, you know... And then there was, you know, Red Dead Revolver beyond that, because I just wanted to play something that's just a bit different, because I've been playing so much 14. Because I ran the Praetorium to get irregular tomestones, so I could get all the emotes, and all of the hairdos, and the triple triad cards. But it is over. Now there's 2 quests that I shall go about doing. Also, look at my level. It's hard to see. I'm level 69. Very nice. Nenanji. The determined look, the determined set of your jaw, the dynamic presence, as you're free leap into action. There's no mistake. You're an adventurer, and a dependable one at that. Yeah, about that. Tell me, are you familiar with the name Le Velour? Yes. I'm familiar with Louis. Of course you are, of course you are. Forgive me my suddenness. I am Nananji Nononji, a budding writer, and I seek to pen a biography of the great man. In particular, I wish to cover his movements leading up to the calamity. And to that end, I requested an interview with the Immortal Flame. He served the Eorzean Alliance as a tactician, you see. So there ought to be someone in the order who had dealings with him. And while my request has thankfully been accepted, there's just one problem. I don't have much experience conducting interviews, and I'm worried whether I'll be able to do a proper job. As an adventurer, you're doubtless used to dealing with people. Thus, I would like to ask you to accompany me in capacity as of an assistant. It would be tremendously reassuring to simply have you watching on. And if you're amenable, afterwards I'd like to interview you as well for your own impressions. For your troubles, I'll be certain to credit you as a collaborator. So please, won't you help me with my biography, that the memories of the calamity might be preserved for future generations? Sure, I would love that. I'm in your debt. To begin with, please come with me to Camp Drybone in eastern Thanalan. There's a place I'd like to visit ahead of the interview. Walk everywhere, and it's like we're here for the event. Oh, there, that's what he's doing, he's scribbling. There you are, to explain why we're here. Oh, but I haven't even asked your name. How am I supposed to know that much? Well, you see, Gerald Celiev, the Gerald Celiev, champion of Eorzea? Small wonder I felt you were dependable. With one such as you helping me, everything will surely go well. But getting back to business, the interview I've arranged is with an officer of the Immortal Flames. As there's still time, however, I thought we'd pay a visit to the nearby graveyard first, so I can explain my motivation for the biography. Well, this is gonna get sad, isn't it? I come from a small village near the Cardinal Flats. It was burned down in the calamity, and those who died were laid to rest here, my parents among them. It's hardly an uncommon tale. After the dread primal emerged from Dalamud, he unleashed fiery devastation across the length and breadth of Eorzea. But as much as the calamity has scarred the realm, it is quickly becoming just another event in the history books. Beyond occasionally giving thanks to the Archons that Eorzea was saved, people spare it little thought. But when you've lost so many loved ones, it's hard to feel that anything was saved. That's why I wish to know more about Louis-Bois. By learning about his part in the Eorzea's salvation, I hope that I will attain closure. That's my motivation for writing the biography. Now then, in preparation for the interview, let's review what is known about our subject. It's difficult to define exactly when the Seventh World Calamity was set in motion. Many historians, however, point to the Empire's Meteor Project, which sought to bring Dalamud down upon Eorzea. It was the year 1562 in the Sixth Astral Era. To combat the Imperial threat, Louis-Bois founded the Circle of Knowing, an order whose objective was the preservation of Eorzea. Through its members, the Archons of Charlian, the Circle worked to unite the nations of Eorzea in common cause. The result was the formation of the Grand Companies in the three city-states, the Immortal Flames, Order of the Twin Adder, and the Maelstrom. None of these would exist now were it not for their efforts. Yeah, I'm doing this first time. And then, in the year 1572, when the situation was coming to a head, Louis-Bois himself made the journey to Eorzea in secret and engaged with each of the nations. What took place during that time is what I seek to learn in the interview. The man we're due to meet is the contact for the Free Brigade, a unit formed of adventurers, and he apparently had Louis-Bois' assistance for a mission. Oh, is this Commander Swift? Captain Swift? I bet you it's Commander or Captain Swift. I forget which one it is. The meeting place is Highbridge, to the northeast. More or less time now, so let's make our way there. Hang on. I don't know where my emotes are. No, dude. This event ends tonight. No, this event ends tonight, and I need to go through it because it is immensely important to me. Like, this is gonna sound cringe. On a spiritual level, I need to do this. Besides today, because the event ends tonight. But after everything that I've been through with the game, this is such a momentous event because afterwards it's the final chapter of Endwalker. And this is kind of like the deep breath before the final chapter of this arc. It's just such a... This is the gravity of this part of the game. I'm being cringe about it, I'm sorry. But I'm just trying to pay respects. Let me pay respects. Fine, I'll find the fucking... If you played the game, you'd understand. You know what? Just for this, you know, I'm not gonna be an asshole about it, but when I'm streaming Chrono Trigger, the whole time I'm just like, you know, this is great and all, but you know, in 14, this kind of scene was so impactful. Although I do know that I'm gonna love Chrono Trigger. I do know I'm gonna love it. Please join me in this game. Please join me in 14. Please. Please don't. If you legit sabotage it, like, do something that will, like, actually... Oh, doing the event. Also can't see from PlayStation that you used points. Dude, I want to save the event for posterity. Fuck. Gerald Celief is not impressed with you. Hang on. There. But I'm doing... It just... Dude, it's The Rising, though. I'm writing a... We're trying to write a biography for fucking Archon Louis Sois Levelure. If that name means nothing to you, then that's on you. I'm actually... This is turning... Chrono Trigger... Dude, I might as... I could have fucking cried a river from all the tears I've cried for this game. Look, I have a friend who... I didn't have time. This is the first day all month, besides my little stint playing Red Dead Revolver. This is finally my time to just play the event, and it ends tonight. Okay, here's the thing. Chrono Trigger is quickly becoming Henry Stickmin. I have my buddy who will never, who is always like I had interest in Henry Stickmin. I'm like, hey, that's the game that the guy did Amogus. And he just is always like, oh, that's a Henry Stickmin thing. Oh, dude, that reminds me of Henry Stickmin, with the Henry Stickmin. I was like, can you please not talk about Henry Stickmin anymore? He made Majora's Mask annoying, because like, oh, I know I will! And I'm sure I would love Henry Stickmin, but the more you talk about it, the more I'm like, it's fine though. But like, I play Chrono Trigger, you join 14. That's the deal. I close my eyes. Tell me why must I tolerate this? What am I smoking? I'm not smoking anything. It could be. Dude, you have made it work like that. There's so many other games I have in my backlog before Chrono Trigger, and you're making a thing about it. If you want to motivate me, you got to play 14. Hehehe. Honestly, you don't think of it like a Final Fantasy game. Think of it as an independent game with all the Final Fantasy fixings. It's its own thing. I know you're a purist. You're like one of those guys who's like those boomers who's just like, I don't have anything in my playlist, or I don't listen to anything any music that came out after the 80s, and it's just like, okay, whatever you say, boomer. Which one did you try? Like 10 or something? 13? 15? Look, I am saying this. I like Final Fantasy quite a bit, but it's not my main game. This is my main game. Oh, fuck, yeah, no, 13 sucked. Just hands down, it sucked. 15, not fantastic. This game is the single greatest game ever created. I shit you not. Please get it. It is better than any game I have played. Eat your heart out, all Zelda games. I went there. I am the Zelda guy. I'm good with most Final Fantasies. They're mostly pretty good. This is the greatest game ever created. I am not even memeing. The interviewee should be along any moment now. That's because you won't play it. You're comparing this masterpiece to frickin' Lightning. No, listen. Yes, the Zelda franchise is better than the Final Fantasy franchise. Final Fantasy XIV is better than every game ever made. XIV is the greatest video game. Period. I will stand by that to my grave. I have never... Look, okay? I'm basically like streaming this for posterity so I can save this for my YouTube channel. I don't know. Dude, Zelda's great. Don't get me wrong. I love Legend of Zelda. It is my main series. 14 is just a cut above everything I've ever played. Non-biased. Forget the time investment I've put into it. It is the single greatest story ever experienced for me. I don't know, why are you still typing? Fuck. I can't tell that from PlayStation. I can't see the points. It doesn't translate when I just go by pressing the share button. Well, I voice characters, so that's not banned. Okay. The interviewee should be along any moment now. I think this is Swift, right? They're the ones who seek an interview? I must say, I wasn't expecting to see the champion of Eorzea. I'm Nananji Nononji, the writer who made the request, and Gerald is kindly accompanying me for the interview. I can't thank you enough for taking the time out of your busy schedule to humor me. For now, no need for the thanks. Like everyone, I hold Louis Soir in the highest esteem. If you wish to know about him, Holland Aubrey is always glad to oblige. Without further ado then, let us begin. My understanding is you had dealings with Louis Soir. Could you please tell us the details? As you know, our grand companies were formed thanks to the Circle of Knowing. But it wasn't until Dalamud began turning red that Louis Soir first appeared. Actually didn't know that. It began with the word that an elderly Elysian man had come to Gridania who held the key to vanquish primals. Upon learning of this, I sent an adventurer of the Free Brigade to make contact with him. I later learned that the Maelstrom and the Order of the Twin Adder had done the very same. At that time, our companies were yet collaborating. At that time, our companies weren't yet collaborating. Each one only thought to stay ahead of the other. If truth be told, at first we didn't think much of Louis Soir, only that he was the leader of scholars who studied peculiar prophecies. But when the adventurer reported back, our opinion of the man completely changed. With his spellcraft, Louis Soir had opened the way into Ifrit's domain, and by the hand of dauntless adventurers, the Lord of the Inferno was brought low. Alas, many defeats preceded that victory. It was reported that countless charred corpses laid strewn in the bowl of embers. Now, the mission also yielded a shocking revelation. Following the battle, Legatus Nael Vendarnus of the 7th Legion appeared and told the adventurer that the hour of reckoning was at hand, that Dalamud would soon fall and cleanse the land. That was when we realized that the Empire was behind the Red Moon's anomaly. So thanks to Louis Soir, you came to be aware of the Meteor Project. Still, it doesn't seem like you had much to act upon. As you say, afterwards, we scrambled to learn all we could about the project. For a blessing, we had the cooperation of a Garlean defector, Sid Garland, whom you know well. He revealed the details of the project, that it utilized a transmission tower to pluck Dalamud from the heavens, all for the purpose of purging us savages from the realm. I could continue telling you what I know, but from this point on, there is someone better suited than I am. If you're interested, I would be glad to introduce you to this individual. What say you? Well now, we'd be keen to speak with this person indeed. Very well. I will send word to the Adder's Nest. If you could take yourselves to Apkalu Falls, I will arrange for a meeting there. To go to such lengths to help us, I can't say how grateful I am. Do not mention it. As I said, I hold Louis Soir in the highest esteem. He was the one who brought our three nations together, and nothing would please me more than for him to be remembered. Well, it's time I return to Ul'dah. I pray that the coming interview bears you fruit. The lieutenant certainly had great respect for Louis Soir. And thanks to him, we have another promising interview. Come, let's head to Gridania, where the Archon had sojourned. You gonna walk there? I mean, I would, but, I mean... Dude, it's such a long way away. Him and his tiny little feet are just like, I can do this. Not playing Chrono Trigger. In fact, I am now compelled to not play it at any point. Probably won't even get to it until next year. But I'm doing the Rising, damn it. I can't see... First of all, I can't see that you do that, but also, I'm just doing this one event. I just wanted to stream the event, dude. Save your rupees, man. It might be, yeah. Sorry, I'm being a little cunty. I take this game a little too seriously. I'm sorry about that. But hey, it's just like 2 quests. Then I'll stop streaming, prep up for tonight, and honestly, if you really want me to, I can fucking stream Chrono Trigger after our rando tonight, but for now, I'm like, I desperately want to do this while I still can. I literally pushed this. I had all month to prep for this, or to get through these quests, because they go away tonight. So, I mean, I'm learning about Louis Soir. That's a huge deal to me. I'm the only member of the Scions who never, technically doesn't remember him. I don't even know if my character met him. So, this is up Kalu Falls. The conspicuous lack of the creatures aside, it's a beautiful place. Now then, the person we're to meet should be along shortly. I was told there were those who wished to learn about Louis Soir, and who should one of them be champion of Eorzea. Well met. I am Lieutenant Zero Fulke of the Order of the Twin Adder. No, I can't. Okay, really quick. Let's say our rando goes until 9, okay? Maybe 10. The event goes away at midnight. I don't have much time left. This is not the day. The patch comes out soon. This is my last chance to do things. And this is a huge deal. I've been putting it off for a long time, and I wanted to share it. Nananji Nononji at your service. Thank you for sparing the time to... Think nothing of it. I must say, though, Lieutenant Aubrey chose the perfect spot for the subject matter. Louis Soir spent much time in rumination here in the days before the calamity. We Gridanians being somewhat reserved by nature, at first the citizens kept their distance. But in time, people warmed to him. He patiently lent an ear to their troubles, healing hurts and offering counsel, and gradually earned their trust. To ignore the plight of those who one might conceivably save is not wisdom, it is indolence. Louis Soir spoke those words, and lived up to them. He was the epitome of a Charlian sage, and I recall myself being moved. Now, shortly after we had become aware of the meteor project, the hamlet of Quarry Mill was attacked by the primal Garuda. Both soldiers and civilians were among the casualties. The Order of the Twin Adder moved to vanquish the primal, but we were not alone. Through Louis Soir's mediation, we had the support of not only our sister grand companies, but capable adventurers the realm over besides. Using an artifact known as the Vortex Feather, the Archon opened the way for a band of adventurers to sally forth into Garuda's turbulent domain, where they felled the fearsome being. Upon our defeat, however, the Primal's dispersed ether did not return to the land. Instead, it was absorbed into the Red Moon Dalamud. And when the Empire constructed a new base in Morgana, the Elder Seedseer saw the need to put forth a proposal, the formal reformation of the Eorzean Alliance, which had for lain dormant. The initial response from the other nations was lukewarm. They felt that the burden to be borne by each party was excessive, and they were loath to do aught that would place them at a disadvantage against their rivals. But the revelation that the lunar transmitter had been erected in the Imperial base prompted a change of heart. The tower controlled Dalamud's descent. If it could be destroyed, then the meteor project would be forestalled. After having constantly been on the back foot, our nations were motivated to join hands, that we might strike a decisive blow against the enemy. Thus was the Eorzean Alliance reformed, as the Circle of Knowing had hoped. At the same juncture, Louisoix was asked to join the Alliance, and in that he provided sage counsel to our heads of state. So, although he was at first treated with wariness, Louisoix earned our trust through his actions, and paved the way to enduring cooperation between our nations. Indeed, were it not for him, we all would have perished divided. We owe Louisoix a great debt. Now then, I expect you might be interested in hearing about the operation to destroy the lunar transmitter. But for that tale, I would recommend you seek out another, a decorated soldier who actually took part in the operation. Although a hardened warrior, she is quite friendly and should be glad to regale you with her experiences. Shall I send word on your behalf? We'd be duly grateful. Very well. If you would take yourselves to Maelstrom Command in Limsa Lominsa, I shall see to it that she knows to expect you. With that, I shall take my leave. I pray that the biography is a success. Everyone has been more helpful than I had dared to hope. It seems Louisoix had quite an influence on others. That interview gave us some valuable insight into his character, and I'm eager to see what we learn in the next. Come, let's head to Limsa Lominsa. Some 5 years ago, a great scholar stood vigil before these waters. It said he came here to rally all of Eorzea in the fight against the alien empire. What became of the man? Meet him in person. Yeah, about that. He dead. And there it is, Maelstrom Command. Shall we then? Gerald, ever a sight for sore eyes. And you must be Nananji. Rasariki. At your service. I understand you wish to hear about the operation to destroy the lunar transmitter. Indeed. I'm penning a biography of the Archon Louis Sois, you see, for which I'm interviewing people who had dealings with him. I truly appreciate your time. You're very welcome. I would be glad, even if it weren't a request from Lieutenant Fluke. Now then, to continue where he left off. It was shortly after the Eorzean Alliance was formed. Our scouts returned with word that the 7th Legion had activated the lunar transmitter in their fortress in Mordona. Now known as Castrum Sentry, the fortress was originally called Castrum Novum, before the 14th restored it and named it. It was in order to break through its defenses and destroy the transmitter that our three nations joined hands, and we were determined to succeed. The strategy that Louis Sois proposed was elegant in its simplicity. While our force drew the Garlean's attention with an all-out siege, an elite band of adventurers would infiltrate the castrum and make for our objective. We had entrusted adventurers with ridding us of the primals. Now we entrusted them with the very fate of Eorzea. I still remember the operation as if it were yesterday. Though we met with fierce resistance, we fought more fiercely still. No matter the cost, we had to ensure the adventurers had a chance to strike at the transmitter. And when the messenger arrived bearing word that they had succeeded, it still makes my heart sore to recall that moment of triumph. That day, we learned that by standing together, the people of Eorzea could oppose even the might of the Empire. 'Tis no exaggeration to say that that victory paved the way for Eorzea's future. Without it, there would not have been an Operation Archon. Alas, it wasn't all glad tidings. For though we destroyed the lunar transmitter, Nael van Darnus appeared and claimed that he no longer needed the device to bring down Dalamud, that he himself had the power to do so. So long as van Darnus lived, the threat of destruction remained. And so, branding him an enemy to all life in Eorzea, the nations of the Alliance undertook a desperate manhunt. At length they located him in Kurthis, and sent their greatest warriors to hunt him down. Leading that formidable band was the adventurer whom they called the Warrior of Light, and though no records remain of the fierce encounter, one thing is certain. At battle's conclusion, Nael van Darnus was brought low. As you know, however, our woes did not end with the White Raven, for Louis Sois and his disciples determined that Dalamud would continue to fall. In a last-ditch bid to prevent the realm's annihilation, the Circle of Knowing issued a request to the Eorzean Alliance to secure the Cartano Flats, where the Red Moon was expected to crash. 'Twas no simple task, for the entirety of the 7th Legion had amassed in Cartano. But it was necessary in order to perform a ritual to stop Dalamud, a ritual that invoked the power of the 12. So it was that the Battle of Cartano was joined, and I dare say you know how the tale continues. To everyone's shock, the Elder Primal Bahamut emerged from Dalamud, and proceeded to unleash his fury upon the realm. Aye. And though all bore witness as Louis Soir initiated the ritual, none remember what came to pass afterwards. Neither what happened to Bahamut, nor why the realm was reborn. The haze that afflicted memories of the calamity. But people remember events prior to that moment, yes? If so, do you know if anyone was near Louis Soir during the battle? Someone who may have spoken with him? If someone was near him, I'm afraid I do not know. He was atop a rise for the ritual while I was a good distance away from on the front lines. My apologies. No, please don't apologize. You've shared a wealth of information, and I couldn't ask for more. Well, if you're satisfied, then so am I. With that, I shall return to my duties. I look forward to reading the biography when finished. Now I have a grasp of events leading up to the calamity. And yet... Oh, forgive me, I was deep in thought. In no small part due to your help, I have managed to learn a great deal. But there is still more I wish to know. Might I trouble you to accompany me a little longer? If you're willing, please let me know. You'll continue accompanying me then? Wonderful. Come, let's head to the Drowning Wench and discuss our next move. Our research proceeds apace so far. We've even learned things not found in literature. Tell me, based on what you've heard from our interviews, what is your opinion of Louis Soir? You had a difficult task. Indeed. For an Imperial invasion to rampaging primals to nail Vandarnus' scheme, he had to contend with the toughest of problems. What struck me was how grateful the interviewees were to Louis Soir for bringing their nation together in cooperation. It was nothing short of necessary for our survival. Yet in knowing this, I can't help but wonder. In his capacity as a tactician, it seems to me he had done more than enough by devising a plan and facilitating its execution. He went far beyond that, risking life and limb on the front lines for a land not his own. Perhaps he needed to be there for the ritual. Perhaps he felt a sense of duty. Even so, as noble as it is to desire to help others, what good is it if you end up sacrificing yourself? What was it that compelled Louis Soir to go to Carteneau? What went through his mind as the battle unfolded? In order to do his biography justice, I feel I need to know these things. If Louis Soir had people near him at the time, perhaps he shared words with them in his final moments. Words that could provide some insights. But where to begin searching for such individuals, assuming they exist? Sorry, friends, but I couldn't help but overhear your conversation. Just so happens I know a bloke has served among Louis Soir's guard at Carteneau. I can't do accents. Truly, you know someone who was with him? Aye, and far as I'm aware, he wasn't keeping the fact a secret. Just for good measure, though, why do you wants to speak with him? Louis Soir's biography, eh? In that case, I reckon the bloke would be willing to cooperate. Orn Quincum is his name, and he was lieutenant of the Maelstrom. After the calamity, he turned to adventuring so as to be of greater help to the common folk. A Maelstrom officer turned adventurer. We'd be most keen to speak with him. Where might he be found? When Orn dropped in the other day, he said he had business at the Morabi dry docks. If you're lucky, might be as he's still there. Understood. We're in your debt. We can't let this chance pass us by, Gerald. Let's take ourselves to the dry docks at once. Right, where could Orn be? In hindsight, we should have asked what he looked like. His name would suggest he's a Midlander, but... Well, nothing for it but to make inquiries. Let's split up for the task and meet again here. I'm sorry, but I've only just started helping out here. I'm still learning our customers' names. I couldn't say if it's the person you're after, but a man did come by earlier who appeared to be an adventurer. He brought a Nimia lily that we're currently trailing. We're currently trialing. Looking for an Orn Quincum, you say? Quincum. Don't know anyone by that name, I'm afraid. I did walk by an unfamiliar fellow just now, though, over by the mark of the spinner. He had a flower in his hand, so he caught my eye. Orn? As it happens, I spoke with him just earlier. He said he wanted to buy flowers, so I directed him to the vendor. Not sure where he is as of now, though. You have an inkling as to where Orn might be. Time to rejoin Nananji. Ever since the calamity, Orn's been helping people across the realm rebuild. It's a fine thing and all, but with his skills, I reckon he could do far better than menial labor. There you are, Gerald. Were you able to learn anything? So a man who could be Orn bought a Nimia lily, then went to the mark of the spinner. If we hurry there, we might be able to find him. Let's go. Alright, off we go. Needs me a ship so I might see the world. If he was only just seen, he should still be nearby. Hang on, really quick. Begging your pardon, sir, but are you Lieutenant Orton Gooingham? I haven't been a lieutenant for years, but aye, that's me. What can I do for you? I realize this is sudden, but so you're writing Louis Sua's biography, and you want to hear my as someone who was near on hand at Cartano. There must be a reason that you're here too, the warrior of light who led us to victory in Operation Archon. Very well, I will tell you my tale. Now then, where to begin? As you know, the battle was fought over the land where Dalamud was expected to fall. In the beginning, neither side was able to gain the upper hand. When the Imperials deployed their Magitech armor, our ranks were thrown into disarray. Those charged with protecting Louis Soi, like me, could only watch the carnage from afar. And though our forces managed to hold out thanks to the adventurer contingent, we sustained grievous casualties. But the real tragedy was what followed. As Dalamud hurled towards us, it began shedding fragments of itself, before finally bursting open to unleash the primal Bahamut. As all below looked on in shock, the battle completely forgotten, Bahamut took wing and spewed fire all over the land. Men in Magitech armor alike were set ablaze and sent flying like so many insects. I only realized that I had stopped breathing when a commanding voice broke my trance. "You've done enough," Louis Swatch told us. "Now fly! Fly and save yourselves!" And like my fellow guards, I wanted to remain. But like my fellow guards, I wanted to remain. I couldn't charge into battle beside my comrades. At the very least, I would do my duty here and protect Louisoix to the last. But upon seeing us standing there, not making a move, Louisoix smiled and spoke thus. If you would give your lives to protect something, then protect my hopes. Every soul who lives to determine their own fate is a source of hope, bright and brilliant. So live, I bid you, and be among those who bear the light for others to follow. Those words awakened us to a greater purpose. If there was hope in my living, then I would live as Louisoix bid. No matter what, I would survive. And so, together with my fellows, I began making my retreat. Alas, we hadn't gotten far when the explosion erupted and sent us sprawling. I struggled to my feet just in time to see the enormous, menacing silhouette of Bahamut looming over Louisoix. In the next instant, he was enveloped in light, and that was the last I remember of him. Louisoix's final moment. Amidst that light, he looked like he looked to be smiling. What was he thinking in that moment? I couldn't say. But one thing is certain. All of us are alive thanks to him. Following the calamity, it was reported that Louisoix had defeated Bahamut and set about the land's miraculous regeneration. Do you believe this is the truth? Every soul who lives to determine their own fate is a source of hope. What we've learned has reaffirmed my belief, Gerald. The belief that Louisoix was not an all-powerful savior one reads about in tales, but merely an ordinary man. But that man never forsook Eorzea. No, he stood for this realm to the last. He and countless other brave souls, and saved it from becoming a scorched waste. Against unimaginable adversity he fought, and at the cost of his life, paved the way to a brighter future for us all. The least I can do in return is tell his tale, spread his message that where there is life, there is hope. Thanks to your account, I believe I've found an angle for this for the biography. I'm truly grateful. Would you care to offer a prayer as well? The prayer that the light of hope, which Eorzea, which Louisoix preserved, shall ever shine. Oh my God, I'm distracted. Would you care to offer a prayer as well? The prayer that the light of hope, which Louisoix preserved, shall ever burn bright. The calamity left deep scars across the realm. There was no place that did not want for help to rebuild. After being saved by our twin outer allies, I decided to become an adventurer, the better to honor Louisoix's legacy and lend aid to those in need. During my travels, I often hear your tales, and I'm glad I could share my own with you. Allow me to thank you again for recounting your experiences to us. Nay, 'tis I who owes you thanks for giving me the chance to share Louisoix's words. All these years I had avoided speaking of the moment of his passing out of respect, but it would not do to take the tale to my grave. Through the biography, it is my hope that his spirit will live on in all of us. Now then, if you'll excuse me, I shall resume my pilgrimage to the marks. Wherever your travels take you, I shall be praying for your safety. Nimia lilies, the symbol of safe passage. As Louisoix stood there in Cartano, I wonder if he likewise prayed for someone's safety. At any rate, these interviews have yielded everything I had hoped for and more. Come, let's return to Ul'dah. I'll have your reward for you at Ul'dah, at the Hall of Flames. Hang on. Yeah. There you are. I ended up troubling you longer than I had intended, but it was a truly fruitful series of interviews. How fortunate that we could hear from those who lived that fateful time. While I still have many questions, the biography is beginning to take shape in my mind. I also feel as though I've attained a measure of closure. Louisoix fought simply as one of us, and he made the ultimate sacrifice that hope might endure. This I've come to realize and appreciate thanks to everyone's heartfelt testimonies. Now then, last but not least, I'd like to ask you for your thoughts on something. According to Orn, Louisoix smiled in his final moment. As he was enveloped in light, what do you imagine he held in his mind? The image of mankind thriving in the future. I see. I appreciate your thoughts. As I pen the biography, I'll be certain to remember your words. Well, sad though it is, it's time for us to part ways. I'll set to work on a draft, and I won't rest until the biography goes to print. Thank you for all of your help, my friend. I couldn't have come this far without you. The man, the myth, the legend. Louisoix Le Veilleur. I miss him, bros. Oh, if it isn't Gerald. It's always a pleasure, my friend. Here now, just when I'm in need of help again. Pray, hear me out. You see, my brother recently wrote saying that he wished to meet me in Uldad during the Rising celebration. However, the appointed hour has come and gone, and I have seen neither hide nor hair of him. I've checked all the likely places in the city to no avail, and I'm beginning to worry. If it isn't too much trouble, may I ask you to help me find him? I'm in your debt. Now, my brother is a youth of 16 by the name of Nagi. He recently became an adventurer, something he had aspired to since he was little. Being an adventurer yourself, perhaps you know of him. Perhaps you know of him, if not crossed paths. We met at the previous Rising. Not only did you meet him, you helped him on his way, did you? What an amazing coincidence. That being said, it doesn't necessarily mean you would know where he is now. If he isn't in the city, though, chances are he went outside on some business. To begin with, I propose we split up and make inquiries in case someone has seen him. If you could focus on this area, I shall speak with those in the quicksand. Afterwards, let us reconvene by the entrance to the tavern. Greetings, adventurer. As part of the Rising celebration, we are currently preparing an exciting game for your enjoyment. It will take a little longer, however, and we ask for your patience in the meantime. Greetings, adventurer. How may I assist you? Ah, Nagi. I understand he is doing some work for the Wandering Minstrel. I dare say his client can point you in the right direction. If you can track the dead man down, that is. I'm afraid I don't know his whereabouts at present. In looking to the past, we take solace in the present, and think of what the future may hold. That is the very essence of the Rising. This year we have prepared a spectacular fireworks celebration. It is sure to enthrall everyone in attendance. What is the Rising? The Rising is a period of remembrance that commemorates those lives that we were lost during the great tragedy that was the Calamity. We also pay tribute to the unsung heroes who risked life and limb that others might know a brighter future. And so the streets are decorated with somber trappings, and the night skies filled with vibrant fireworks. The solemn atmosphere and bright lights above may spur others to reflect on the doom pretended by Dalamud. By doing so, they might give thanks to the present and muster hope for a brighter tomorrow. Oi, venturer. Why not spend some of that hard-earned coin here at the markets? Go on and treat yourself. You deserve it. Something you need? Oh, Nagi. Aye, I know the sprightly lad. Couldn't say where he is now, but last I saw him, he mentioned taking on some delivery work. He's a curious one, he is. Gets along with everyone well enough, but doesn't seem to like working in a team. What with talk of bandits prowling the road of late, I can't help but worry. As I said, I couldn't say where Nagi is now, but he mentioned taking on delivery work. Might be as that's what he's out doing. Well, slap me silly with a harbor herring. If it isn't the adventurer who gave this Gaz a story for the ages by bringing that letter in a bottle way back when. Oh my gosh, that was such a good one. I remember, I wrote down a bunch of those bottled letters. I have them in my freaking filing cabinet. Like, I wrote them down from the letters from the developers. The ones that I could find. So, what can Bran do for you this fine evening? I see. With apologies, I haven't seen this Nagi. As a matter of fact, I've been rather busy working on my upcoming piece on the Rising. Why, just earlier I was interviewing the ever-enigmatic wandering minstrel, who's got another unusual venture in the offing. The Letter Forest, he calls it. If that piques your interest, I recommend you go and see the man. He's at the Gold Court, over on the steps of Thal. It appears Nagi is carrying out some work for the Wandering Minstrel. If you talk to the man in the Gold Court, you should be able to learn more. If you're interested in the Letter Forest, I recommend you go and see the Wandering Minstrel, who's totally not Naoki Yoshida, by the way. He's at the Gold Court over in the steps of Thal. Ah, my dear friend, what a pleasant surprise this is. I trust you have been keeping well. Now then, how may this minstrel be of service? So Nagi's sister wishes to find him. Indeed, I've entrusted him with a task and have an inkling as to where he might be. As you may have heard, on the occasion of this Rising celebration, I am hosting an exhibit called the Letter Forest. All are invited to anonymously submit letters to this forest and express their gratitude and encouragement for others, and all may peruse the letters at their leisure. Now, in order to collect missives from outside of Ul'dah, I have dispatched a chocobo carriage. Nagi is escorting said carriage. When he contacted me on Link Pearl a while ago, he said they had emerged from the Twelves Wood on their way back to Ul'dah. Given the hour, they should have arrived already. I know not what is causing the delay, but might I trouble you to look for them? I would go myself, except I am needed here at present. I'm truly grateful. In case it helps, the carriage was meant to pass through Blackbrush Station, so perhaps you could take your search to that area. I pray that nothing has befallen them. Greetings and welcome to the Letter Forest. Displayed here are messages of gratitude and encouragement, which folk the realm over have anonymously written. It comes as no surprise, but no few messages are addressed to adventurers. So, we're still in the midst of preparations. Now we're Still in the midst of preparations, but I shall be pleased to guide you when all is in readiness. Please return anon. There you are. Were you able to learn aught of Nagi? Escorting a carriage for the minstrel, so that is the way of it. As suggested, let us take ourselves to Blackbrush Station and try searching in the vicinity. Need to get help. Gerald, no sooner did I arrive that this man came running out of breath. You're an adventurer? Oh, thank the 12. It's the bandits from the Quiveron Manse. They're fallen on a chocobo carriage over by the clutch. The carriage only had one guard, and he was sorely outnumbered. Please, you must help him. It has to be Nagi. With me, Gerald. Damn it. There's no end to them. We have you now, you stubborn little shite. Enough! Leave my little brother alone, or 12 as my witness. You'll receive such a thrashing as you've never known. This fearsome adventurer here, that is. That's no ordinary man. Retreat! Are you all right, Nagi? Sister. And Gerald too? Then you should be the one to come to my aid. Thank you. How have you been, Nagi? You remembered. I've been well, more than well. I'm sorry I didn't come when I said I would, sister. Rest assured I'm not too badly hurt. Well, that's a relief. I'll take a proper look at your wounds back in the city. I must say, I was quite surprised to learn that you had met Gerald. He helped me when I first arrived in Ul'dah. From registering as an adventurer to completing my first task, he kindly showed me the ropes. Now I had suspected that you were a great adventurer, but to send your foes running without even drawing your weapon, that's just incredible. I still have a long way to go, embarrassing myself like I did. If I want Sister's approval, I need to grow stronger and be able to fight on my own. My approval? But first things first. Brent and I have a delivery to make for the Rising. If you'll excuse us, we will hurry back to Ul'dah. Let us head back as well. I don't mind to pay the minstrel a visit in any case. Sister was none too gentle dressing my wounds. Perhaps she's annoyed I didn't show up as promised. Thanks to you, Nagi is safe. Still, what he said about making it on his own weighs on my mind. Welcome back, my friends. Pleased am I to see that Nagi is safe and well. Rising attendants inform me that they now have all the letters. With this, we may proceed with the letter forest as planned. Thank you, Nagi. I'm so sorry I'm late. You see, were it not for Gerald, there's no telling what might have become of the letters and Brent. In the end, I was utterly useless. So that is how it happened. As Nagi's client, allow me to thank you as well for coming to his aid. That being said, my boy, you are far from useless. Nay, you bravely defended the carriage until help arrived. There's no need to belittle yourself so. Well, Gerald didn't need to rely on anyone. No, he drove off the bandits with nary more than a stern look. Couldn't hold a candle to him. Like him, I want to be able to deal with any problem without help. Otherwise, I can't claim to be an adventurer worth his salt. Without help. Tell me, Nagi, all this time, have you been working alone? Even for dangerous tasks? That's right. A worthy adventurer doesn't rely on others. If I'm to be the kind of adventurer you approve of, I must be able to handle anything by myself. I see. If that is what you believe, then I can't consent to you being an adventurer any longer. Return to our village and start over. What? But you were so happy for me when I became an adventurer. I'm working so hard to succeed, to prove to you that I have what it takes, but now you've developed a grave misconception. Until you recognize what it is, I can't in good conscience approve of your calling. If you can't accept this, if you wish to remain an adventurer, then you must win me then you must win me over. And it begins with pondering why you first embarked upon this path. Alright, sister, I'll think on this. It appears Kippy wants her brother to rethink what adventuring is to him. Had the question been posed to you, what answer would you arrive at, I wonder? I'm sorry you had to see that, Gerald. Despite what it may have appeared, no one wants my brother to succeed more than I do. To succeed and be happy. After all, I know better than any how hard he works. Unless he changes his ways, however, he is like to die somewhere out there. And even if he manages to stay alive, he would only know an arduous life. That's why I didn't go out of my way to be gentle when dressing his wounds. If he would just focus on what actually matters, instead he obsesses about gaining my approval and compares himself to others. Truth be told, no matter what Nagi wants to do, it is my intent to support him. It's his life, after all. And no one else's. If it isn't my place to interfere. Be that as it may, if he is sabotaging his own aspirations with his obsession for my approval, I can't simply stand idly by and watch. Loath though I am to impose, until my brother has found his answer, might I trouble you to keep an eye on him? Please, take it as a request from me as well. Even has adventuring been dangerous, and it is more dangerous still for one who spurns help. Like Kippy, I do not wish for Nagi to continue on his current path. As for a fellow adventurer, please help him find a better way. Thank you. Now then, on a related matter, I must pay a visit to the Weaver's Guild. But I will see you again anon, if you'll excuse me. Nagi set off this way. So you may find him at the Sapphire Avenue Exchange. We leave him in your capable hands, my friend. Be it gratitude or encouragement or sympathy, each of these letters bears the wishes of one soul or for another. For Nagi to work so hard to see them delivered at heart, I do not believe he rejects connections with others. Nay, something drives him to believe and behave as he does. Oh, it's you, Gerald. What is it? That's so. I'm sorry. This is really something I should be doing alone. Still, it's nice to have someone to talk to. Like my sister bade me, I'm pondering why I chose to become an adventurer in the first place. Kipi has looked after me since I was no more than 10, after our parents passed away. Since she was already a reporter by then, and her work took her to various places. From her, I heard tales about adventurers and came to admire them. Upon learning of the full extent of the impending calamity, she took us to a village in the mountains where our aunt lived. It's desperate times like these that people need stories of hope, she used to say, and I believe she had wanted to remain in Gridania and continue her work, but she left in order to keep me safe. I was a burden to her then. I don't want to be a burden to her again. For that, I need to show her that I don't need to depend on others, that I am a capable adventurer who can handle anything by himself. Ponder as I might, I can't understand what's wrong with that. Well, when in doubt, I suppose I should do what adventurers do and gather information. It would be good, I think, to speak with people like my sister. People who aren't adventurers, but are familiar with them. Who in Ul'dah would fit that description? How about the face of the Adventurers Guild? Of course! Who else but Miss Momodi? In her capacity as guild representative, she's bound to have some valuable insights. I'll seek her out at once. I still remember when I first came here to sign up. I was a nervous wreck then, but now this place feels like a second home, and I come all the time for crumpets. They make them so springy and serve them drowning in butter and honey. Sorry, now isn't the time for that. Come, let's have a chat with Miss Momodi. Well now, if it isn't Gerald and Nagi. To what do I owe the pleasure of both of your companies today? I was hoping to get your advice on a certain matter. The misconception you've developed about being an adventurer. That's an interesting one, I have to admit. Try as I might to figure it out, I keep going around in circles. Thought you might be able to offer some insights. This is just a gut feeling, but I reckon I understand what your sister's trying to say. Tell me, Nagi. Suppose you fail to get your sister's approval. Would you simply give up being an adventurer? Would it all become meaningless? From this here counter, I've indeed seen off many an adventurer, each and every one unique, with dreams and destinations all their own. But in spite of their differences, they all share something in common, a reason for first embarking upon their journey. Gerald, would you mind telling us why you chose the adventure in life? There's a few reasons. Oh. I don't want it to be a secret. Well, I wanted to see the world. How very like you. Keep that reason close to your heart now, you hear? And you, Nagi? What inspired you to become an adventurer? It's simple, really. I heard about adventurers from my sister and became infatuated with the lives they led. Like them, I wanted to be able to see the world while helping those in need. And isn't that enough? Your sister's approval or no, you have a reason all your own. By the 12, I see now. At some point, my desire to prove myself to Kipi had displaced my own motive for being an adventurer. That's the misconception Kipi wanted me to recognize. What a fool I've been. Wanting someone's approval isn't working in and of itself, mind. Wanting someone's approval isn't wrong in and of itself, mind. But it's got nothing to do with why you're an adventurer. It shouldn't force you to do things you wouldn't otherwise do, like trying to handle everything alone. Well, that's enough from me today. I've said my piece. What you do now is up to you, Nagi. Thank you for helping me realize, Miss Momodi. Think nothing of it. It's my job to watch over you all. Nothing makes me happier than to see you happy, doing what you do. Thank you too, Gerald, for accompanying me. I think I know what to say to Kipi now. And loath though I am to trouble you again, there's something else I'd like your help with. You see, of the letters we collected in Limsa Lominsa, one was from an explorer who was seeking an escort for an expedition. By now that letter should be on display at the Gold Court. I want to show it to my sister, and I'd be grateful if you could help me find it. Come, let's rejoin the minstrel. Where is that letter? Holy crap, I'm just like... Bro. Urianger with a gun? What am I doing? Jesus. I just wanted to make a silly joke. I hate using the PlayStation controller sometimes. Ah, welcome back. Dare I hope you were able to find the answer? Yes, I'm happy to say. Miss Momoi helped me to come to a realization. When I go to speak with my sister... I see. By all means, feel free to borrow the letter. Does it have any distinguishing characteristics? As I recall, there was a large drawing of a blue chocobo on it. Very well. Let us all search together, the more swiftly to find it. Dear kindly Mikote adventurer, thank you for helping me to find my mother. I was scared at first, but you made me feel brave. I had lots of fun at the Gold Saucer, and it was even more fun because of you. I hope to see you again. Please take care. It's the lost child from the Gold Saucer. The staff were tied up, so I helped to track down the mother. Hence, what a what a fine feeling this is. A great many of these letters bear words of thanks for adventurers, a testament to the good that you and yours do in the world. As someone charged with the city's peace, I cannot overstate how much of a boon adventurers are to our efforts. Some folk have expressed concern that an increase in drifters would see a corresponding rise in crimes, but on the contrary, they are steadily declining. Soldiers like ourselves are somewhat limited in the scope of our duties, and we are not always available to lend our citizens what assistance they need. Thus would I take this opportunity to express my heartfelt gratitude to adventurers who step up to fill the void. While the contents ring a bell, this letter wasn't written by an explorer, nor does it bear a drawing of a blue chocobo. It isn't the missive Nagi is looking for. That's why I want to read them. Dear not-so-new adventurer, as a traveling merchant, I had my fair share of happy encounters, but sharing a carriage with you stands out above them all. For you see, I went on to sell veritable crate loads of the ring I gave you, and turned enough of a profit to buy my own carriage. You shared with me your adventurer's luck, and I count my blessings every day. No matter where I go, I often hear tell of your exploits, and it makes me inordinately proud to have met you. Till we meet again, my friend, I pray for your continued safety and success. Esteemed adventurer, should you chance to read this letter, I pray it finds you well. Much time has passed since you helped us to rebuild in the wake of that terrible disaster, but we still remember you most fondly. Our lives continue to be hard, and every day brings new challenges. Nonetheless, we have regained a semblance of what we once had, and smiles are beginning to return to faces. The morrow will be brighter than today. This we dare to believe now thanks to you. And should you yourself face hardship, I pray that you believe the same. So Dear adventurer, how fares your journey? Mine continues, and I wake up to the sound of songbird and lie down to sleep beneath the moonlight as I seek unblazed trails. Long ago, when an adventurer aided me, I was made to realize how alike we are. Deep down, we are simply travelers who thrill to make new discoveries. Thus do I write this letter now, in hopes of recruiting such like-minded souls to join me on an expedition. If you at all share in my desire to make the uncharted charted, then I invite you to seek me out at the Drowning Wench in Limsa Lominsa. Eagerly do I await your coming. This letter recruiting adventurers bears a drawing of a blue chocobo. It must be the missive Nagi is looking for. I think I'm quite ready for another adventure. No luck over here so far. How about you? Adorned with a hand-drawn picture of a chocobo, this letter invites adventurers to take part in an exploratory expedition. A blue chocobo! Yes, this is the one! All that's left then is to talk to Kipi. Do you know where she is? She went to the Weaver's Guild, saying she had business there. Perhaps she's buying clothes. At any rate, I'll look for her there. Thank you. For this too, might I trouble you to accompany Nagi? Afterwards, I ask that you tell me how events unfold. I shall await you at the Ruby Road Exchange. Maybe I'll just go inside and scout her out first. Is she even here? Yes, she is. I do not agree with Nagi's belief that if he is to be an adventurer worth his salt, he can't rely on others. Lest we forget, adventurers help others through the work they accept. To refuse to accept help, in turn, not only defies logic, it is saddening. You're here too, Gerald? I must confess, I'm feeling rather nervous, so I appreciate your presence. Oh dear, you came to find me? My apologies for taking so long. So, Nagi, were you able to find the answer? Aye. To begin with, I want you to look at this. An explorer is assembling an escort for an expedition? Certainly sounds exciting. In wanting your approval, I was determined not to rely on others. But a part of me dearly wanted to be part of the expedition. to go where I dare not set foot alone. So I've decided that I will answer the invitation. Then this means you've given up on trying to do everything alone? I had wanted to prove to you that I'm capable, that I'm no longer a burden. In my obsession, I lost sight of why I became an adventurer in the first place. To see what lies beyond the horizon and lend a helping hand to those I meet. That's what drives me, and I was able to remember that thanks to Miss Momodi and Gerald. And whether or not you approve, I will want to continue adventuring for my own reasons. Is that alright with you? Didn't you just say you didn't need my approval? But to be clear, I never actually intended to stop you. Do you remember what you once told me, Nagi? Shortly before the calamity struck. Did you interview adventurers again today? What were they like? What kind of places have they been to? You never get sick of hearing about adventurers, do you? Never, ever. When I grow up, I want to be an adventurer too. Well, that's as fine an aspiration as any, but do you know what kind of adventurer you wish to be? A hero like in the tales, perhaps? Oh no, sister, not a hero. Adventurers are free spirits, and I want to be the freest spirit of all. Oh yes, I'll travel the world and meet lots of people, and when I visit home, you can interview me as much as you like. For that boy to spurn help for want of my approval. I couldn't bear to see it, and in order to bring you to your senses, I may have spoken a little sternly. As an adventurer, you'll experience no small amount of hardships, but you chose your path because you wanted to be free. So don't let yourself be shackled by expectation, be it your own or that of others. Instead, take things as they come. So long as you are true to yourself and recognize your limits, you'll surely find a way forward. And remember, not even heroes can accomplish everything alone. Relying on others doesn't make you a lesser adventurer. If anything, the freer you are, the more we need to look out for one another. And that, I believe, is the essence and beauty of adventuring. Wouldn't you agree, Gerald? Wholeheartedly. Understood, Kiwi. I won't ever forget this. Knowing you, I expect you're raring to answer the explorer's petition in Limsa Lominsa. You'll be taking an airship, yes? In which case, I shall give these garments to you now. I had them made for you, thinking it was past time you had something better. For me? Thank you so much, sister! I must thank you too, Gerald. You're the kind of adventurer I admire, and I'll keep on working hard to be like you. I couldn't have asked for a better person to watch over my little brother. I appreciate everything you've done for him, and look forward to meeting you again, be it for a story or something else. With that, we take our leave of you. Till next time. You see the siblings off, safe in the knowledge that all will be well. Time to rejoin the wandering minstrel, who's not Naoki Yoshida totally, and relay to him the tale's happy conclusion. It's not for another, 40 minutes, right? I also thought it was gonna be, 8 p.m. After the event. Please. Just fucking be patient, please. Okay? Maybe I take this a little seriously. Probably another 5 to 10 minutes, okay? This is literally the last scene. My fucking heart's in this right now, okay? Like, I'm invested in this, and it's important to me. I take this way too seriously, I'm sorry. I'm being a bit of a bastard. Welcome back, my friend. Judging by your expression... I'll be there, alright? For fuck. Stop fucking ruining my rising! Welcome back, my friend. Judging by your expression, I take it all as well with Nagi and Kipi. I see. Pleased am I to hear that. When we first set out on our journeys, 'tis usually for the simplest of reasons. Yet as we make our way, those reasons may become lost in a haze of motives, causing us to lose sight of what truly matters. In such a time, if we can but remember what prompted us to take our first step, we will always find the strength to take the next. Nagi shall be fine. I am certain of it. My thanks for keeping an eye on him. Just another player. Guys, it's another player. Guys, if you keep nagging, I'm not gonna fucking join the rando, okay? This is why I didn't fucking stream Tears of the Kingdom. Fuck. Can I just save or something? These events have inspired a new verse in me. A verse about the dreams of those who seek new worlds, and hopes of those who see them off. Greetings, Warrior of Light. This is a world that exists outside your reality. Could it be a dream? A flight of fancy conjured by your weary mind? Perhaps, or perhaps not. It is a pleasure to meet you again. As I have in the past, I have beckoned you here that I might express my gratitude. 10 years have now passed since the world was reborn from its ashes, since we set forth upon this journey. Countless things have happened during that time, and I've had the pleasure of meeting many an adventurer along the way. Truth be told, it hasn't always been easy. There are moments when I wonder why I must struggle so. Days when I'm tempted to cast it all aside. But in spite of this, I always manage to carry on. And it is thanks to my wonderful comrades and to you, our esteemed adventurers. By now, I must have been regaled with tens of thousands of your tales. You usually share them with us smile, but even when it is with a frown, you tell me that you're still enjoying yourself. It is no exaggeration to say that I derive all of my driving force from you all. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you. Ours is an unending journey. Nothing would make me happier than if we could keep walking it together. As you make your way, we promise that we will ever be at your side, matching you step for step. Now, the time has come for this vision to end. Time for your eyes to open from this waking dream. Much time has passed since the world was reborn from its ashes. Countless souls have made this place their home. Every single one has left an indelible mark upon it. Together we have built this world, and it is our sincerest hope that we shall continue to do so for many years to come. So please be safe and well. May you ever walk in the light of the crystal. I dare say Nagi is aboard the airship by now. I pray that he and Kipi will find happiness upon their respective paths. I hope you do so as well, my friend. If you would lend me an ear, I would dedicate these verses to your future. By morning light, the star's journey starts. A trill of hope without our hearts. By morning light, the journey starts. A trill of hope within our hearts. On westerly winds to river song, into the world where we belong. Above fields of white on an azure sky, sunset's storm of crimson fire, jewels a-glitter on pitch-black veil. A new day dawns, so goes the tale. By eternal wind we carry on, boldly towards a golden morn, with memories as a guiding star, shining our steps both near and far. Where will you go? Whom will you meet? What will you see? There is no telling what the future holds for anyone. Yet come what may, I bid you never forget this. The bonds you forge, the memories you make, the footprints you leave behind, they shall one day spur you forward. So pray continue walking your own path. Wherever your journey leads, I shall be praying for your happiness. Thank you, Naoki Yoshida. with memories shared yet all our own, as one we braved frontiers unknown. Thank you for 10 years. I'll have to try that out. A decade of adventure. Hey! 10 years, let's go! Hot to the touch. His hand-carved whistle emits a lively shrill that summons your rising phoenix. I get a phoenix! I now have a phoenix. I'm so happy. Okay, what were all the prompts? Alright, I want to read the letters. Well, I'm here anyway. Let's see the minigame. You bet I am, Kupo. What do I do? What? What am I doing? I'm going to die. I did. Oh, I'm going to die. I don't think I'll read these out loud, but I do want to preserve them. Letter from a message board keeper.